Greetings, fellow gorehounds, and welcome back to a Blood Splattered vlog. I'm the Horror Guru.
And I'm Kombucha.
And he's Count Jackula, aka Kombucha, because today we're going to talk about Kombucha, a horror movie written and directed by Jake Myers, based on a short film of the same name, also written and directed by Jake Myers. This film is about a musician named Luke who gets a dreaded office job. You know, he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to, but he's kind of guilted into doing it from his girlfriend. His girlfriend's not happy with him not bringing in the dough. So.
Yeah. Yes, that creates tension in the relationship.
Creates tension. So he takes an office job when his friend offers him one, only to discover the hard way that there's something wrong with the office kombucha. And that's as far as I can tell you without getting into spoilers.
Yeah, that's pretty much the setup.
Horror, comedy, body horror, corporate satire, all kinds of things is going on in this movie. The best way I can sell this movie to you as someone who just watched it and enjoyed the hell out of it, it's like a mix between a Larry Cohen and a Frank Henenlotter film.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You know, somewhere between The Stuff and Brain Damage.
Exactly. It's got the kind of body horror and the kind of like messing with your head that Brain Damage has.
It's a little on the cheap side.
Like both of those movies.
Yeah.
And it's also got like the anti-consumerist messaging of The Stuff, but instead of being from the consumerist point of view, it's from the point of view of the people in the actual office buildings selling the shit. That's the big difference between this and The Stuff.
Because this company sells kombucha.
It sells kombucha as well as like plans to gain more corporate synergy
through kombucha.
This movie takes the concept of a corporate culture and makes the culture part quite literally.
Yeah.
Like a kombucha culture. Because kombucha, for those of you who don't know, is basically a type of tea that is made out of like bacteria and fungus.
Yeah.
So
and it's disgusting. I don't care what anyone says.
I'm not a big fan of it myself.
Yeah, no.
I've tried it.
It tastes weird and bitter and just bleh.
Yup. Which made this movie extra gross for me every time he had to drink it because he doesn't like it either. Luke, the main character, does not like the kombucha either. And every time he takes a drink, it's just pure grossness for me.
Yeah.
This movie gets weirdly psychedelic at times because the main character, Luke, starts to lose his mind. And also he starts having changes in his body. But what kind of changes we'll talk about later in the spoiler section.
Yeah.
So again, body horror, Larry Cohen social commentary mixed with Frank Henenlotter weird goopy puppetry. You got some good stuff going on in this movie. Now on the downside, the movie is, like we said, rather cheap. It's very obvious at times that they don't have the budget to do a lot of things. Anytime he's in the office, it sometimes feels like he's the only one in the office.
Yeah.
Because they don't have enough money for the extras to fill out the office.
Yeah, it's real clear. Like they just got some PA sitting behind a computer just so you got a head.
Yeah. You know? And they got like some specific shots where there's like at least 5 people in it.
Yeah.
But then for most of the movie, he kind of feels a little isolated in his corner, which kind of works for like the movie's overall metaphor about how like the corporate culture of all these companies like sucks the life out of you and isolates you and makes you feel lonely, even if you are in an office with people. So it kind of works in the movie's favor, but it feels way more like a budgetary limitation than something that was an intended like filmmaking choice. Exactly.
It was one of those, well, we got 3 actors today. Let's just do what we can.
I mentioned a minute ago that there's some goopy puppets in this movie. The goopy puppets look great, but they're mixed in with some questionable CGI towards the end of the movie. They actually do something really clever. They try to hide the seams between the CGI and the real puppetry and the real people with like a red filter when it happens.
Yeah.
Which does a good job of hiding some of the seams, but it still only hides it so much.
Yeah, you could tell that the idea was that when they get there is that the filter is the same color as the kombucha.
Yes, exactly. Because the kombucha in this movie has this like bright orangish like tone.
Yeah. It's like reddish orangey tone. You know.
And so anytime a human is interacting with the CGI portion of the movie, it doesn't look good. But when it's just like the puppetry stuff and the body horror stuff, that stuff looks great. That stuff looks fantastic. Overall, I thought this movie was really funny. The social commentary is very much one of those, I know writers who use subtext and they're all cowards.
Yeah.
This movie's subtext is its text. It's right right in your face with it. And I love that kind of in your face political horror movie.
Yeah.
That just kind of knows what it wants to tell you and tells it to you in the most in your face way manner. The George Romero style, you know? There's nothing subtle about having a bunch of zombies roam around a fucking mall and just be like, oh, is consumerism bad?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. It's kind of like that. Not as good as a George Romero movie, unfortunately, but it is much more on par with like the Frank Henenlotter stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Which I love Frank Henenlotter, but let's be real. George Romero's a better filmmaker than Frank Henenlotter.
Oh, yeah. I think we can all say that.
I think we can all agree on that. So yeah, kombucha. This is a pleasant surprise for me.
Yeah. My resolve to never have kombucha again has been strengthened.
Yes, 100%. 100%. This movie will put you off kombucha if you've never had it before. Yeah. Which, to be honest, is probably for the best, because I do not like kombucha. I know it became a health craze for a little while for people to be obsessed with kombucha. Yeah. Not a fan.
Yeah. My first encounter with kombucha was when a friend brought over their homemade kombucha.
Of course.
And it was in a big jar, much like the kombucha in the movie. And it sat in my fridge for like a year because I felt bad that I never drank it, but every time I looked at it, I was like, that's the most disgusting thing. Why would I drink this? But I didn't even want to touch it to throw it out.
Yes.
You know, like, yeah. So when every time they're looking at that jar of kombucha that just sits in the office, I'm like, yeah, fuck that.
Well, you know? It's what makes the main character so relatable to me in this movie. Because he has the same revulsion to kombucha when he
first encounters it, yeah.
On top of everything else that makes him relatable, you know, he's like a 20 approaching 30-something who's into the arts, but he hasn't gotten anywhere with his music career, so he's kind of stuck, like, moving to the corporate life, and he doesn't really want the corporate life because he doesn't want it to suck the life out of him, but as the movie shows, it does anyway.
Yeah.
You know, so all that stuff is super relatable, but him just like his utter revulsion to the kombucha, not only was it relatable, it made the point in which he gets addicted to it all the more horrifying.
Yeah, it made it grosser.
Because you know he doesn't like it.
Yeah.
You know something's wrong. So, kombucha is currently available on various streaming sites to rent or buy. I highly recommend renting it if you have the inclination for this kind of body horror social commentary movie, because I think this one is pretty good. It's not the best. It's got some seams. It's got some hardcore seams.
Yeah, it's got some rough edges.
But I ultimately loved it the same way I love all the Frank Henenlotter stuff, despite all their seams.
Yes.
And with that said, let us move on to the spoilers so we can talk about what happens in the later half of this movie.
So the kombucha is not just alive in a technical sense, it's like a monster.
Yes, there is a creature in the movie that's referred to as Mother, and the kombucha is referred to as Mother's Secret. It's the actual brand of the kombucha that they sell. Now, the Mother is an actual, like, hive mind that exists inside the corporate structure. It's hidden behind a painting in a giant red room where the finale takes place. You join the company, you're kind of peer pressured into drinking the kombucha as part of the corporate culture, and then you get addicted to the kombucha, and then after getting addicted to the kombucha, it slowly internally changes you.
Yeah.
Until you get to the point where the Mother creates a copy of you, and you are absorbed into the Mother.
Yeah.
You become one with the corporate culture. The literal culture.
And the Mother is this big, like, slime fungus monster.
Yes, absolutely. It's got, like, tentacles. It kind of reminded me of the brain.
Yeah.
From, like...
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. Like, you know, the brain's in that jar at the beginning of that movie.
Yeah.
And you got, like, the science lab with, like, the science lady who gets eaten by the brain.
Yeah.
The whole finale reminded me of that scene.
Yeah, it's very reminiscent of the brain.
And so everyone that he's been working with, including his friend that got him the job, have either already been replaced or on their way to being replaced by the fungi.
Yeah.
So you got fungus people in this. Some of my favorite parts of this movie, I love the mother of the victim from the opening scene of the movie.
Oh yeah, the one who's convinced that they're all vampires?
Yeah, convinced that they're vampires, and they keep escalating the joke where she like shows up with like garlic and like crosses and shit when they go to like raid the corporate compound. That shit was great, and I love that at the end of the day, the garlic actually ended up helping because the garlic is toxic to some forms of bacteria. So I actually thought that was pretty cool. probably my favorite joke in the movie is when Luke is facing off against his replacement, his copy.
Oh my God. Yes. So when the copy first comes out, it's not quite ready.
No.
It's it's got to learn how to people.
Let me circle back to that.
Circle back to that. Let me circle back to that. And it keeps repeating corporate slogan phrases.
Yes.
Because that's all it knows.
That's all it is. It is a corporate hive mind.
Yeah.
That's all it is. Let me circle back to that. And I love the moment when he defeats his copy and the copy is just sitting there on the ground convulsing and is just I would have made so much value. This movie's legitimately funny. It has a slower portion in the middle when the characters are kind of figuring out things are wrong, but when it fires on all cylinders in the last act, it gets really funny.
The last 20 minutes of the movie are why you're watching.
Yeah, absolutely. Even with the wonky CGI.
Yes.
The main problem with the CGI in this movie is anytime someone's interacting with the actual mother hive mind, it's very obvious that they are not in the same space with one another.
Oh, yeah.
One is a CGI creature fused with a puppet, and it's obviously a small puppet being done to a big person.
Yeah,
and it never quite looks right.
Yeah, never. No, it doesn't look right. The thing that I just really enjoyed about it is because the movie goes from being kind of clever, kind of sneaky to just full on dumb by the end.
Yes,
of it.
It goes all the way. It becomes like They Live.
Yes.
By the end of the movie.
But yeah, by the end of it, you're just well, all right, I guess we're doing this now.
Yep, absolutely. And I love the tease at the end of the movie that they have room for a sequel. They defeat the mother, but then they realize that the higher ups are selling the kombucha on the streets now.
Yeah.
So it's spreading like the stuff. I like the use of Midnight Special in this movie. The main character, Luke, is singing it at the beginning of the movie, and later on in the movie, the girlfriend sings it to him when he's in his catatonic
and it
state.
brings him out of the trance.
Yeah, it brings him out of the trance so he can regain his own humanity through his connection to his art. I love symbolically all of that stuff. My only problem with it is it would have been nice if instead of a famous
folk song,
if it was a song that the character himself had written.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Because there's that feeling of he's twirled away at this music career for so long, but when he was gonna go meet the record executive at the bar, he sings a cover.
Yeah.
And there's that question of shouldn't you have brought your own material for that,
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe included the cover in your set, but also have your own shit. I just feel it would have been nice if it was his own song, though I do understand if they intended him to be so bad at his
Yeah.
career.
Maybe he was intended to not be that great.
Yeah, he actually hasn't written his own material, so all he has is covers.
Yeah.
And if that's intended, then fair enough. I get that.
Yeah.
I get that. Despite all the flaws, and they're very noticeable and you're not going to miss them, I had a great time with this movie. And I love that the movie just went all the way with its stupid premise.
Yes.
It's if we're going to be in your face and on the nose with this whole corporate culture thing, we're going to have a fucking giant fucking fungus monster at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
And I'm yes, thank you. I even cheered when we watched the movie. I went yes! Now granted, that cheer kind of went down a little bit when someone else started interacting with the fungus monster, and I'm okay, that effect isn't that great. But when it was on its own, just writhing around, I was that's awesome.
Yeah. It's not as good as say the effect at the end of The Substance.
True.
Where they were just, oh God, I love the fact that they're just no, full bright light.
Yes.
Light all of it.
Yes.
Breathe it in.
Yup. The Substance is definitely the high tier of this kind of movie.
Yes.
It is the tippy top. We've got this movie. We've got Grafted earlier this year.
Grafted, that was another
The
one.
Ugly Stepsisters also high tier.
Ooh, yeah.
Also up there. And The Substance is probably the best of all of them.
Yeah.
These kind of body horror social commentary movies.
Yeah. Yeah, Kombucha. Yeah, give it a thumb up.
I give it a thumb up too. I think this is an enjoyable movie. It was a pleasant little gem to stumble upon.
Yeah, it was a good surprise.
It was a good surprise. Where can they find you, Count Jackula?
You can find me here on YouTube every weeknight at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, where I stream for generally at least an hour. And so if you have any questions for me about anything, you can come and get your questions answered. I guarantee that these answers will absolutely change your life, cause you to have new perspective on things, get you a girlfriend, but probably not. How about you?
Y'all know me, I'm the Horror Guru. You can find me on various social media platforms, but these days I primarily use Blue Sky, so go follow me on there. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to ring that notification bell so you're notified of our videos immediately upon their upload. And if you'd like to help out either of us more directly, be sure to check out our Patreon pages, and remember, if you decide to go the Patreon route, even $1 a month can go a long way, but we can certainly accept more, and we could use more given the current state of the American economy. And with that said, my fellow Gorehounds, I want you to comment below, and be sure to comment below using the hashtag. In fact, I got 2 hashtags here. I got the first hashtag, which is Midnight Special. Pretty self-explanatory. It's the song used in the movie. The second hashtag is Let Me Circle Back to That. Either one of those hashtags, work it into your comment below. That way I know, that way Jack knows, that way the whole world knows that you know how awesome kombucha is not. The drink. The movie's awesome.
Good. I'd say the drink can eat my ass, but it tastes like ass.
Yeah. Speaking of ass, one of my favorite scenes in this movie is when he shits the maggots.
Yes. Yeah, there's a point where he shits maggots.
Kombucha. Ask for it by name.